In this video, I'm going to walk through how to flash your Xperia phone as well as how to root using one of the 3 known methods. To start off, this is an update of my video on how to use Binary's Universal Rooting Toolkit. I'm going to go through a different toolkit as well as 2 other methods. Lastly, I'm also going to go through the FlashTool, which is very important because it's what allows you to restore your phone in case anything goes wrong. So as always, before you start off, back up all your data, and you have to have the drivers installed so that your computer will recognize the phone. So either install Update Service and PC Companion, or download the FlashTool and use the FlashTool's driver installer. The driver installer will install everything from fastboot drivers to ADB drivers as well as flash mode drivers. So just check off whatever you need. Once you're done that, you can flash your phone. The flashing toolkit has multiple firmwares you can download. There's some links in the description. And we're going to flash 62B.0200. The flash tool also allows you to upgrade and downgrade the kernel, which is one of the rooting methods I'll show later in this video. Start up the flash tool as administrator. And click on Flash, choose Flash Mode, and choose the firmware that you want to flash on your phone. On the phone itself, turn it off. And once the flash tool prompts you, hold the down button and plug in your phone. Light's going to turn green and the flash tool is going to start. So once again, the flash tool works for all Xperia phones and it allows you to restore your phone in case anything goes wrong. So before you root your phone or do anything to modify it, make sure you're familiar with the flash tool. Just to demonstrate what would happen if something went wrong with flashing or with rooting your device, and I'm going to unplug it halfway through, try to turn it on. If your phone gets stuck in a boot loop, hold up and power to reset it, and that'll allow you to turn off the phone and go back into flash mode. Hold the down button and plug it in. Light turns green again, and I'm going to flash the phone completely. Once the phone is finished flashing, you can unplug it and turn it on. So once the phone is finished starting up, just go through the wizard. And you've successfully flashed your phone back to stock or any other ROM. So now you're familiar with the flash tool and how to flash your phone in case anything goes wrong or you need to flash a specific firmware to use a toolkit. So now that your phone's been flashed, the first method available to root your phone is to use one of the many pre-made rooting toolkits. But before you do that, you're going to have to do 2 things on the phone. Go into Settings, go down into Developer Options, turn it on, check USB Debugging, go into Security, and check Unknown Sources. Once you've done that, you can plug your phone into the computer. At this point, your phone should be recognized by your computer. If you go into Device Manager and there are any yellow triangles, that means the drivers aren't installed. Go back and install the drivers either using the flash tool or the manufacturer's applications. So right here you can see the Sony phone. As an added step to make sure that your phone is recognized by the computer, there is now a graphical program that allows you to run ADB commands. So download this program and install it, and once you've done that, Make sure you run it as administrator. When you start it up, it'll scan and try to connect to your phone. If your phone shows up here, you're ready to use the rooting toolkits. If it doesn't, once again, install the drivers. Just going to close it. Instead of using the same rooting toolkit that I showcased here, I'm going to use Doomlord's Xperia specific toolkit. He lists all the different devices and firmwares that it currently supports. So 62B0200, and that's why I flashed it. Go down and download it at the bottom. And once you've downloaded it, you can extract it and open up command prompt to run it. So as always, start CMD, right click and run it as administrator, and then navigate to wherever you extracted the files. So I put it in croot. Obviously you can extract it wherever you want. dir to see all the files. Here's the folder. And there's the command. So run me win. run and hit enter. It'll tell you to turn on USB debugging, turn on unknown sources, and then hit any button to start. Just pull up a stopwatch again. It only takes a few seconds. It only takes a few seconds and it'll reboot your phone. Once your phone is restarted, if you go into your app drawer, you see you now have Super User and your phone is rooted. So by far that's the easiest method. Download any of the toolkits and then just run them. So there are 3 toolkits right now. Binary's Universal Toolkit, Doomlord's Xperia Toolkit, as well as an easy rooting toolkit from a Chinese programmer. Unfortunately it's not in English, but it's pretty straightforward. You're only clicking on a few things, so you can download it. And once you've downloaded it, run it. And it'll ask you to install it. And run it. It's going to try to automatically identify your phone. And this rooting toolkit does support the latest 196 on the Xperia. I'm going to find the Xperia S and then just click on root. Takes a few seconds. Once it finishes, it'll reboot your phone. And once it finishes rebooting, if you go into your app drawer, you'll see Super User. It's in Chinese, so you'll want to log into the market and then download the newest Super User. And that's just another rooting toolkit you can use to root your phone. It also works with many other devices. So if you've got a generic tablet or a no-name Android phone, it should work on that as well. The second method to root a phone is to downgrade the kernel. This is typically done when the firmware is too new and there's no rooting method yet. So for example, 62B.196, which is the latest firmware, to root it, you have to downgrade to 2.11, which is supported. 2.11. Use the rooting toolkit, and then flash it back up to 196. So I'm going to quickly use the flash tool and flash this phone up to 196 and show that it can't be rooted. Once again, going into flash mode and 196 flash. The phone's off. Hold the down button and plug it in. Light's going to turn green again, and it's going to flash the phone. Once again, the phone is finished flashing. Unplug it and turn it on. Once again, I'm just going to set up the phone. And go into settings, and just to show that it is the latest 196 firmware at the bottom there. Once again, go into developer options, turn it on, USB debugging, security, unknown sources. I'm going to plug in the phone. And just to show that the toolkit does not work on 196 directly, I'm just going to run it again. And make sure you have the flash tool closed when you run these toolkits. And as you can see, it's going to try to root the phone, but it will detect that it's not a supported version. And if you go on your phone after it reboots, you'll see that super user is not there. As stated by the toolkit, 6962B196 is not supported. So I'm just going to take this down here for a second and open up the flash tool again. And follow the instructions on the downgrade. So all these downgrades are usually the same. You're going to flash a lower kernel that can be rooted and then flash the higher kernel to restore it back. So download both those files, 2.11 and 196, and then copy them to the flash tool. So there's 2.11 and there's 196. We're going to turn off the phone again. Click on flash. Choose 2.11. Hold the volume down button and plug it in. Light turns green, and the flash tool is going to start up. It's going to be really quick because it's just flashing the kernel. Unplug it and start up the phone again. Once the phone started up, if you go into settings, nothing should have changed. It's still 196. Plug in your phone. Once you finish flashing the lower kernel, make sure you download the proper root toolkit. This is version 18 instead of 17. Just going to navigate there now. So that was 17. I'm going to use 18 now. You can hold down Shift and right click to get a new option. Open command window here, and that'll open a command window in the right path so you don't have to navigate and find it. Once again, you're typing in runme _win and hit enter. As you can see here, it detects it as 211 instead of 196. Once the phone is started up, you can go into your app drawer, and now you'll see Super User. But before you can start using your phone, once again, you're going to turn it off and unplug it. And as it says in the instructions, you're going to flash back up to 196. So download that. And flash back up. So let's get the flash tool. Go into flash mode and choose 196 kernel only. Hold down the volume down button and plug it in. And like before, it's really quick. Once that's done, once again, unplug your phone and restart it. And you're done. And that's how you typically root the newest firmwares that don't yet have a rooting method available in a toolkit. You downgrade, you root, and then you flash up again. The last method to get a rooted firmware is to flash it through recovery. If you have recovery, typically you're an advanced user already because you know how to flash zip files and how to use recovery. So I'm just going to walk through this really quickly. So here's recovery. You can install this for Jelly Bean if you don't already have it. You can only do this on a rooted phone. Starting the recovery installer. And as it says here, once you see the blue LED, press any button and you'll go into recovery. So I'm just going to turn off the phone. So once you have recovery installed, you can download one of the pre-rooted zips, such as this one, and then you'll copy that over to your phone. And then you'll copy it over to the phone and just put it anywhere for flashing later. So 211 pre-rooted. And turn off the phone. Disconnect it. Turn it back on. And when you see a blue LED, you're going to press any button. And that'll take you into recovery. Once you're inside recovery, make sure you follow the instructions for the specific firmware or ROM. So you either have to wipe it or you have to back it up, and then you're going to choose install zip from SD card. Choose zip and then go to wherever you stored the ROM. So for instance 211. And then flash the phone. And that's the third method on how to get a rooted firmware onto your phone if you already have root, recovery, and there's a pre-rooted zip available, a newer one than what you already have. As always, all the links are in the description. Please leave any questions in the comments, and thanks for subscribing and watching.